You can choose, believe it or not, you can choose to have the personality that would most please you beginning today. Yes, that's right. You can choose your own personality. Why not? You have already established through a lifetime of choices precisely what kind of a human being you have wanted to become. If you close your eyes and visualize for a moment precisely what kind of person you would like to be, what picture emerges? What do you want? To reduce your fears? To have a genius IQ? To be able to stand up for what you believe? To have a positive, self-loving portrait? See yourself living and performing at the level of real magic. You must develop within you a new knowing that you have the capacity to create any change that you can conceive of for yourself. You have created your own personality, and thus you have the ability to change any part of it. You didn't inherit it. Nobody handed it to you. It is yours. You created it. Take responsibility for it. We grow up believing in so many limitations that after a while our lives actually manifest those limitations. We hear ourselves saying things that we accept as truth, when in fact they are misbeliefs that have turned into our truths. Here are 5 of those myths or misbeliefs that permeate our culture. 1. I can't help the way I am. I've always been this way. If you find yourself believing that you must always be the way you've always been, you are arguing against growth. You must shed the illusion that you cannot help the way you are. You must create a knowing within you that you have the power to create whatever kind of person you want to become in all aspects of your humanity. 2. It's my nature. I inherited who I am, and it can't be changed. To enter the realm of real magic, you will have to suspend such thoughts and become a spiritual being first, a being who has no limitations in the inner domain where boundaries are non-existent. 3. My personality is controlled by my chemistry and metabolism. This is a lie we hear over and over again, and it is repeated in some of the most prestigious circles, making it even more difficult to overcome. While scientists may in fact have a point about body chemistry, what they too often fail to address is what kind of control we have over our own body. Our body chemistry is always being affected by how we choose to think. I want you to take a look at the enormous power that you have in your mind for containing those enzymes or retraining them to work for you rather than against you. Here's misbelief number 4. My family is responsible for my personality. These kinds of pronouncements are the very sort of inner thoughts that will keep you from ever allowing miraculous changes to take place in your personality. You must know within that you not only have a choice today, but you have always had a choice concerning how you react to the influences of your family. The choice is always yours. Know that your family and your role within your family influence you today to the extent that you believe that they do. You must become the producer, director, and actor in the unfolding story of your life. 5. I can't escape my culture and times. If you believe that the culture determines who you are and what kind of a person you will turn out to be, then that will be your reality. On the other hand, everyone who has ever made a difference in the world has been an innovator. An innovator looks within and allows their conscience and commitment to a purpose decide who they will become. If you're going to follow your bliss and make a difference in the world, you will soon learn that you cannot follow the herd. Once again, it boils down to personal responsibility and a willingness to consult your own spiritual awareness, that higher invisible self that flows through you. As you think, so shall you be. These are the big 5 misbeliefs that make up the big lie that was thrust upon you from your earliest moments of consciousness. You must begin a program to overcome these illusions. As you now know, this entire program of creating miracles revolves around one single premise, that you become in the physical world that which you create in your invisible world. Here are the 6 keys to making yourself into the person that you choose for the purpose of fulfilling your heroic mission here. 1 is your personality. Create a fantasy in your mind and imagine exactly how you would like to be. Would you like to be more assertive, more loving and gentle, less anxious and nervous? For now, just know that all of these inner imaginings can be translated into physical behavior, for that is precisely what you've been doing all along anyway. Secondly, your talent. Just for a moment, visualize the optimal talent that you would like to have. Your choice to excel in any given area will be based upon your own personal interests. Your talent, like everything else about you, is a function of the invisible force that flows through your body. It is not in your hands, your genes, or any part of your physical apparatus. It is in the force that flows through all of your being. When you begin to know rather than doubt your talent, you will discover the necessary physical abilities to carry out your purpose. Third is your intelligence. How smart would you like to be? Would it take a miracle for you to be smarter intellectually than you already are? The best definition of IQ is, intelligence is what intelligence tests measure. Nothing more, just what intelligence tests measure. These tests, which supposedly measure something abstract called intelligence, were devised by people who want to sell their instruments, who want to slot people into compartments, who want to restrict people from attending certain schools, who want to set up a practice for the purpose of giving out these numbers to parents. They are silly, absurd procedures which give people some kind of external number to hold on to and explain their levels of success or lack of success in the material world. Know that your purpose is beyond anything that can be measured with scientific measurements. Who decided on this business of an IQ? Why should we label everyone in our culture with another number? You are as capable as you need to be to fulfill your purpose. Your intelligence is infinite. Almost 20 years ago, I redefined intelligence in your erroneous zones. A truer barometer of intelligence is an effective, happy life lived each day and each present moment of every day. You are a genius. You can improve your arithmetic and reading skills. You can learn anything that you put your mind to. You are a spiritual being first and foremost, and you cannot put a number on that. Fourth, your habits and customs. Would you like to be able to change some of the things that you find yourself doing repeatedly, but which do not serve you any longer? Use your magical powers of inner persuasion to challenge everything about yourself. Your personality is made up of the hundreds of habitual ways that you conduct the daily physical affairs of your life. A neighborhood within a few miles of my home has the highest unemployment rate in the state of Florida. Something close to 75% of the people are out of work. Yet as I drive through the neighborhood, I notice broken glass on the lawns, litter everywhere. Why? If 75% of the people are unemployed, wouldn't it seem logical that you would see these people at least picking up the trash and the broken glass with their abundance of free time? But you don't. You see people sitting around doing nothing. The circumstances of their lives have revealed how they have chosen to live. It doesn't cost anything to pick up and clean up, yet this is not done because those habits have become the ways of dealing with their circumstances. The same invisible force that runs through those who do pick up the broken glass and manage to work and support their families runs through those who make the opposite choices. It's in every one of us. Some tap into it, others ignore it, and then blame their circumstances for the habits and customs of their lives. You can change around your daily humdrum habits and get yourself fully involved in life, regardless of your income level or circumstances. Circumstances do not make a man. They reveal him, as James Allen reminded us in As a Man Thinketh. Learning to think in non-habitual ways is the essence of overcoming personality traits that no longer serve you. Fifthly, you're aging. Imagine for yourself the ultimate miracle, a slowing down, or even an elimination of the aging process. Now there is an outright uncategorical miracle. You can have an enormous impact on the state of aging in your body. While everyone succumbs to the aging process, the question of significance is, do we have to? Aging is the forgetting of how to make things right within a cell. It is not normal. It simply is a learned way of being. The way out of this trap, the real magic that is available to you, is located, as is everything else, in your invisible self, your mind. You can absolutely refuse to let an old person into your body. If you can work your mind in a genuinely magical sense, you can strongly affect the aging process of the cells composed of indestructible DNA. It is in your mind where that invisible intelligence works its magic that you must examine your attitudes towards aging. Do you think old thoughts? You can begin to rethink how you feel about having your individual cells deteriorate. And if you use your mind in a new way to develop a new knowing within, perhaps you will be able to affect that process that you have come to think of as inescapable. Your emotional health is another area. Your emotions are physical manifestations of your thoughts. The joy you experience is located in your physical body, and the chemicals that are present when you experience elation can be identified and quantified. You manufacture those chemicals in your own quantum pharmacy that begins with your mind. When you begin to heal the inner you and consult that inner voice constantly, you literally begin to alter your immune system. Emotions show up in your body as physical manifestations of your thoughts. Keep this in mind as we head toward the path of real magic. These 6 categories comprise the inventory of personality variables that you control in your invisible mind. Your beliefs about them are all yours. Before moving on to the strategies that you can employ to bring about real magic changes within yourself, I feel that it is important to consider the biggest fear of all. The question that seems to universally perplex us is, where do I go when I die? Fear of death can be a great inhibitor in your life. It can keep you from living fully, and it can make your time here in this human form anxious and sickly. The way out of this dilemma is to face your fear of death directly. You know there's a part of you that is immune to death, since death refers to endings, and your soul is not subjected to such delineations as beginnings and endings. There is an essential immortality that is the birthright of every human being. The supreme goal of human existence is attained when we become peaceful with our own immortality and view death not as an ending or a punishment, but as an awakening, a reward, a return to the infinity which surrounds our parentheses in eternity. There is almost a universal agreement among those who have been to the edge of death. They all report blissful lights and an absence of suffering, an eternal welcoming. The basic reasoning for your anxiety about death is your lifelong habit of thinking of your body as you. As you learn that you are really a conscious mind dwelling within a body, you will begin to see the folly of such an all-out identification with your body. Soon you develop an attitude of loving concern for your body, but a detached sense of identification. As you awaken further and further, you will lose your concern for what happens to your body and replace that concern with a knowing. You will discover that those who have died are not gone at all. They are simply renewing themselves, just like you have been doing. Here are some steps that you can implement beginning today to manifest your new way of being. Remove all the doubt about what kind of person you can become. Constantly remind yourself that all that you have become is the result of all that you have thought. The way to change this is by thinking quietly, constantly, and persistently of the kind of person you truly want to become. Stop using sentences in your material world which reflect what it is that you do not want to be. Begin a process of affirmations by reflecting a consciousness of confidence and strength by talking about your unlimited capacities. Remember, what you think and talk about expands into action. Stay focused on what you are for rather than what you are against within yourself. For instance, don't think about not having any further resentments, because then you are still thinking about resentment. Instead, think on health, harmony, love, and bodily ease, and you'll act on those things. Remind yourself daily that you are a purposeful being. When you are living on purpose, giving of yourself in a blissful way, your personality will reflect that bliss. Remember that neither your family nor your culture gave you your personality. You created it. You do not have to continue to relive and reuse those old variables if they're no longer functional. Try totally trusting your intuition for a day at a time. Your inner voices will insistently let you know that you have the necessary ingredients to get your life to bliss. When you know that it is there and refuse to believe otherwise, you will find miraculous changes taking place within you. Remember, there is a secret buried deep within your invisible self. It says to you, you do not need another thing. You are already all that you need. What you are is all that you are supposed to be. Your inner and outer design is perfectly in balance with all things in the universe. Surrender to that secret, and you will have everything you need to live a purposeful life. Inventory the behaviors and characteristics that you exhibited as a child and which no longer are applicable to your adult life. Keep the words, "now you know better," high in your consciousness. You are in a constant state of change in your life. You are continuously learning how not to behave and what new talents to use. Use this awareness for developing other aspects of your personality. Create an intention inventory for yourself. Not a wish list, but an inventory of what you intend to create within yourself. Then shift to your intention stance. I intend to manifest the necessary talent and intellect to become the kind of purposeful person I am destined to be. In this way, you shift from wishing to action, and you are using your intentions to bring about miraculous personality changes as well. Begin to act in your physical world as if that person whom you would love to be is already here. In the present moment of your life, regardless of what you have convinced yourself of in your mind, you are that new, miraculous, self-confident person. Act the part that you want to play. The acting is in the physical world. The want is the inner voice. Learn to pre-play who it is you want to be in your mind before you put anything into action. This is how you create the miracle of a talent that you never believed possible for yourself. You live spiritually first. That is, you live it out in your mind, your IQ, your habits, your personality, your health. You need not share these inner pre-plays with anyone. They can be your own private journey. They will lead you to real magic if you stay with them unconditionally. Remind yourself that if you have judged yourself to be lacking, you will continue to manifest that lack as long as you focus on it in your own mind. If you have a choice in what you will know about yourself, then why not know positive things rather than negative things? You got to where you are because of your choices. Keep that simple realization close at hand, and it will serve you well in creating miracles for yourself. You are what you choose to be. Seek out no opinions on your own personality. Ask nothing of anyone in the way of assessment. Look instead to your own divine awareness of your unlimited abilities. Be polite when opinions come along. Send people loving thanks for their thoughts, and then proceed to go within. Ask nothing, and you will receive much. But if the receiving is your aim, you will be living a life of constant deficiency. Develop your own personal excellence program, first in your mind, and then start putting it into practice in your daily life. See yourself trimmer, less out of breath, feeling lighter and ageless. When you regularly hold these mental pictures, you will begin implementing them in your daily regimen. You'll find your body responding in beautiful, miraculous ways to your mental equivalents. Use meditation regularly to create the inner harmony and peace that will allow you to become the personality that best suits your magnificent divine purpose. While meditating, experience your own death in your mind. Yes, see yourself moving into the light. Awaken in your meditation and know that your eternal self is free of attachments and worries. The experience removes your fears and teaches you who you really are. This will free you to be purposeful rather than chasing rewards and results. Use your meditations to free yourself from the labels that you have placed upon yourself and to free you of the big lies about your inability to change certain things about you. Get very peaceful about being perfect and having all that you need to live your purpose. You do not need another thing to experience miraculous changes within yourself. Allow yourself to experience the feeling that you already are everything, including a miracle. Your miracles are an inside job. Go there to create the magic that you seek in your life. That is indeed your only reality.